All right, let's dive into the absolutely fascinating, chaotic, and brilliant world of African trickster gods. Now, these are not your typical predictable deities. Oh no. They are the ultimate rule breakers, the clever agents of change who live in that gray space between order and chaos. In their stories, they're just incredible. So, what do a spider, a messenger, and a mantis have in common? It sounds like the setup for a really weird joke, doesn't it? But the answer actually connects three of the most compelling figures in all of African mythology. They are all master tricksters, beings who use their incredible wit and cunning to reshape the world, to challenge the gods, and, to teach humanity a lesson or two along the way. And here's the key thing you've got to understand about tricksters. They aren't just pranksters out for a laugh. No, they are absolutely essential cultural figures. They represent the cleverness you need to survive when the odds are stacked against you. And their schemes, whether they work out perfectly or fail in the most spectacular way, often end up helping humanity in ways you'd never expect. They operate on the margins, and from there, they can change everything. So first up, let's see this archetype in action. Let me introduce you to Anansi, the spider god from West Africa. He is probably the most famous African trickster of all, and his whole domain is built around one of the most powerful forces in the entire world: stories. See, Anansi wasn't happy with just a couple of tales. He wanted all of them, the whole shebang. But they all belonged to the super powerful sky god, Nyame, who was definitely not about to just hand them over. So Nyame set Anansi a price he was sure was completely impossible to pay. Now look at this quest, because what's so amazing is how Anansi pulls it off. He never, ever uses brute force. He gets the python by playing to its ego, he traps the leopard by pretending to help it, and he fools the hornets by offering them a safe place to hide. It's the perfect example of the trickster's greatest strength. Brains will always, always beat brawn. And just like that, by finishing these impossible tasks, Anansi didn't just win some prize. He fundamentally changed the world. He took the stories from the heavens and brought them down to the people. And in doing that, he gave them their history, their wisdom, their very culture. He empowered all of humanity through the power of a good story. Okay, next, we're going to travel to the Yoruba people of Nigeria to meet a trickster who is, well, a very different beast. If Anansi is a clever folk hero, Eshu is a powerful, totally unpredictable cosmic force. He's the divine messenger who literally holds the keys to communication between us and the gods. Eshu stands at all the crossroads of life, and I mean both the literal ones and the metaphorical ones. He's the guardian of markets, of doorways, of pathways. He carries our prayers and sacrifices up to the gods, but, and here's the trickster part, if he isn't shown the proper respect, he might just, jumble the message a little bit. He's the force that keeps the world from getting too boring, too static. This slide just captures Eshu's complexity perfectly. He is pure duality. On one hand, he can bring you unbelievable wealth, but on the other, he can cause immense trouble. He's seen as both male and female and is capable of turning death right back into life. Eshu isn't good or evil. He is the tension between those two opposites, the living embodiment of possibility. All right, for our final figure, we meet Kaggen, the mantis trickster of the San people in southern Africa. Kaggen is a creator god, a really primal force, whose tricks and, frankly, his screw-ups literally shape the physical world around us in the most bizarre and unexpected ways. So in one of his most famous stories, Kaggen gets into this big fight with the meerkats over the body of his favorite eland. And in a total fit of rage, he stabs the eland's gallbladder, and this one angry act unleashes this thick, black darkness that just covers the entire world. Total blackout. And right here, this is the classic trickster move. Kaggen creates this huge cosmic problem, but then he's immediately annoyed by it. He can't see anything, he keeps bumping into things. He's just as bothered as everyone else by the mess that he himself made. So, what does he do? Does he perform some grand divine magic to fix it? Nope. He does something impulsive, something almost silly. He takes off one of his old leather shoes, all red with dust, and just chucks it into the sky, ordering it to become the moon. And just like that, out of a moment of anger and a dusty old shoe, the world got its light back in the darkness. So there we have it, our spider, or messenger, and our mantis.
Now let's put them all side by side and really see how they stack up.
This table just lays it all out so clearly. You've got Anansi, the spider, who uses his pure wit to control the world's narrative. Then there's Eshu, the gender-fluid god, who uses chaos and ambiguity to guard the gateways between worlds. And finally, Kaggen, the mantis, who uses his raw, primal power to physically change reality itself. 3 totally different methods, 3 different domains, but they all share that one essential role, the ultimate disruptor. So ultimately, what this all shows us is that tricksters are way more than just characters in old myths. They represent a fundamental human idea, the idea that sometimes the rules have to be broken, that a little bit of chaos is actually necessary for growth, and that the stories we tell have real power to create our reality. And that kind of leaves us with one last thought. In a world that can often feel way too rigid, too predictable, maybe a little too serious, where do we need a bit of that trickster energy right now? What established order could use a clever shakeup? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining me.